Oh yeah.
He used to get a lot of his equipment from the Sawyer.
Gotcha.
And then for lighting and stuff like that, I check it out sometimes for photography too. So they be having everything.
All right, hold up. Let me redo the intro. I don't know, I can just do it right here. Alrighty, sir. What is your name?
I'm Beneyam Hassan.
Beneyam Hassan. Pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me. Start somewhere.
Of course,
first?
of course. Nah, but I remember when you were taking photos of me. Well, actually, like, we met randomly. Do you remember how we were?
Yeah, I think I came up to you.
Bro, in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
I was just sitting down and you came up, bro. Crazy.
Uh,
And then, like, I forget what you said. Well, you said, like, we got to grab lunch or something after that.
Yeah.
And then we had lunch. And then after that, you was taking photos of me.
Don't face like that. I'm over here hiding this shit. Ooh.
No, after that, I asked him for modeling photos because he was talking about photos and doing photography, and that's how we met. But is doing photography, is that like your main passion right now?
No. Like, I would say I wouldn't even classify it like that. I would say I'm more of an artist than I am a photographer.
Interesting. Can you explain a bit more of that? Because I don't even know what that means.
Nah. I don't even think there's an actual, like, difference out there in the real world, but I think there's a difference to me.
Okay.
In the sense that photography is like a practice. And I think being an artist is a way of living, of like how you see the world and interact with it. Photography is just one way of capturing that. And I think kind of boxing myself into the medium of just labeling myself as a photographer limits me in my creative approach. So calling myself more of an artist and kind of seeing it that way allows me to have the freedom to be able to be like, yeah, I do photography, but I can also do video, but I can also do painting or performance art or stuff like that, or just in the mindset of what it means to be a creative, I think is more access through seeing yourself as an artist than as just as a photographer.
Oh, that's me. So instead of boxing yourself into photography, being seen as more, or seeing yourself as an artist, you can do multiple mediums to get kind of like your point across. Is that kind of?
That's like on the practical aspect, yeah. But also just on the way I view things as well. Like when you say photographer, that it has a connotation of like that is a job, that's like something you do.
Yeah.
But I think when you say you're an artist, it's like I can be a lawyer, but I'm also an artist at my core. Like I'm constantly creating and stuff like that. So it removes it from from seeing it as like merely an activity that you do, or and turns it into a way of living.
It seems it's like a whole identity. Like it's you. Like you've like embodied like the artist. Is that kind of how I'm seeing it?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm trying to make the difference. Like when you say artist, it becomes more of yeah.
Dang. All right. But all questions were thrown out the door.
We just got deep right off the first one.
Honestly, that's fascinating. Wait, when did you like learn like you didn't want to be a photographer but more like an artist?
Yeah, pretty recently actually. Like I used to kind of just like I got into photography not because I was like really good at art. I don't even know how to draw.
Yeah.
I can't paint. Like I haven't taken drawing one for shit. But like I started it just for yearbook in high school. Like my senior year of high school, I was just like, you know what?
Okay.
Let me pick it up, and I started doing it a little bit, and I did just sports, and then through that mindset, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this for a class. I was like, I'm doing photography as a photographer for a class.
Yeah.
So it was always like that. Never really seeing myself as a creator, like in the sense of like creating something in art. And then, like as I've gotten like to really, while I'm here, like at Williams, I've really started taking more art classes and kind of just like doing the practice itself, and I found out like what I really like and new things that I've never even heard of. Like I did performance art, which was like to me so radical. Like it's like I don't even know how to explain it. But like those experiences, I'm like, wow, I really enjoy this. And then I started taking more like theoretical classes of art and like social sciences, and it's like and then now I'm taking a class called Rough Drafts, which is really talking about like what does it mean to mean something, like what is meaning, how is meaning like created, how is art looked at, like what is this, like all these like more theoretical questions within art. And it's really started to make me think about my identity, because that is what art is. Like it's an expression of how I see the world. Yeah. So in doing it, I also am like I leave a little bit of my print or like my view on it. Like how I take a photo is based off of how I see, and how I see the world is composed of like the experiences that I've gone through, the education that I've gotten, the knowledge that I have. So everything. So then I started like really thinking about like, okay, who do I want to be? How do I want to create? How do I want to live? And then trying to like think about those questions and answering those kind of led me down to seeing myself as more of an artist than just a photographer.
Oh my. I don't know why. I just feel like I should dab you up for that. I was like, dang. That's crazy.
But yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a follow up to this. 'Cause this is deep. It's making me like inspiring me to think about life differently. Cause like instead of like putting myself into a box, but kind of like taking on kind of like that one identity of an artist, and you get just multiple mediums of how to express your life. But dang, hold on.
Oh God.
That is.
You also start seeing other things as meaningful too. Like one of my friends, like in the past, like now with my like how I kind of see art is like low key, it's in everything. Like how you put a fit on, there's art behind that. Like you could like fashion designers at their core are artists. Like they're putting shit together. Certain colors work well. They like there's color theory behind all this shit. You know what I mean? Like even the simplest act of putting an outfit on can be art. And I think that is why I think it's so like it's so much better to view it in that sense, because it really can be in any part of your life. Instead of like when you say photographer, it's like okay, like it's like it closing you to a camera and like a photo.
Dang. Wait, is there anybody that's been helping you on this journey to like go from the photographer sense to more embodying the whole artistic identity and that being yourself? Or has it just been you kind of discovering that just like over time?
I think a place in between. It's impossible for me to say that all these questions I'm asking myself come just from myself, because a lot of it, like the fact that I even know to ask these questions stems from maybe a reading that I did or something that I've seen. So everything is kind of linked to the world that I live in, whether that be like my professors maybe saying something that kind of makes me think a little bit, but at the same time, like I am ultimately the one at the end kind of answering these questions and figuring out how I see myself. So I think it's a combination of both, where I do spend a lot of time just kind of like thinking about the art that I want to create.
Yeah.
Especially in the class that I'm in right now called Rough Drafts. Like there is no description for the class. The class is rough draft. It's like purely made to just make stuff. And like for real, like I'm talking about, there's nothing that's like this is what you have to do. No, like you create, and with the theoretical like part of it as well. Like he really makes you not just create something that's like, oh, it looks good, but like what does it add, what does it mean, like what, like everything like that. And I think so, like taking classes like that, like having the space and time to really be able to ask those questions to myself is what has led me down to kind of see this.
That does sound like an interesting class. I might want to take it. Well, I'm interested. When do you feel most like yourself? Like, is there a time? And when I say yourself, I don't think you have to like identify that, but like when do you feel the most you? Like when you're doing these artistic things, just like walking around campus? It's kind of like a broad question, but
I don't know. I'm struggling to answer that question.
Yeah.
More with the notion of what it means to be a self.
Okay.
There's different performances that we all like kind of have. And I don't mean to like get deep, but this is more on like a social level. Like I'm referring to like the performance of self by like Erving Goffman, or just like how societies function is that like there's performance that we put on. Like you are not the same person you are to your parents as to who you are to me.
Yeah.
And in that sense, like which one is the real you? They're both the real you. So it's not a matter of which one is the self, but more which performance is kind of happening, like the social implications. So that's what I mean. So when to answer that question, like when do I feel most at me? Like all of it is me.
Yeah.
And even if like that's so it's like I don't know, it's hard to say because all of it is.
I know what you mean. I feel like to that point, I definitely know what you mean because I'm taking sociology. I'm learning about that right now, and I definitely see that. But there is one thing in my life that I've been doing like recently,
Mm.
where I feel like every time I do that, there's just like something within me that feels like it's alive, it's awakened, and like it's been dormant for a while, and that's creating this content and like helping other people. Like it's more like when I'm filming and having conversations with people, and then when I post it and I'm seeing like it's helping people, like doing that just it's something in me that just feels like this is right. So I guess anytime I'm doing this, it makes me feel alive. So I guess is there something like more like
That's I
that
think
too?
that's a better way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think as of right now, because I don't want to limit to
Yeah.
like in the future it could very much change.
Cool.
But as of right now, like a huge passion or something that really like has been lighting me, um, has been doing like social documentary photography. It's kind of like blending like a little bit of social research like ethnography with photography. Like generally ethnography, like the method of social research for like sociologists and anthropologists, like of kind of immersing yourself in a community, living with them, talking to them, interviews and stuff like that, is usually shown through the medium of writings. So
Yeah.
that's what you have a lot of like sociological studies are all writings.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a place for photography within that. I think photography has a way of individualizing people in a way that writing sometimes can't. Like, I think there's a way to use photography to really let us into someone's life in a more intimate way.
Got it.
And I think that is where social documentary photography comes into play. So this past winter, for as a part of my winter study class, we went to Florida. I don't know if I mentioned this to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And while we were over there, we're doing ethnography. We were like immersing ourselves within a community, spending time with them, going to their churches, interviewing them, just like immersing ourselves within the community. And I chose to also do photographs alongside it. So I was like photographing these people. They were facing environmental racism through contamination that weapons manufacturers spilled into their water and soil. So there's a huge like social story behind like there's a story behind it as well. So it wasn't just like I was following random people. Like there's a story to everything, of course.
Yeah.
But I wasn't just like following people. Like I was immersed into their life and how they dealt with the contamination, how it impacted them, also how they were resilient through it. Not just like I don't want the story to just be on the issue of the contamination. I didn't want that to define them, but more so also how they overcame it and are still continuing to thrive in their existence and their future. And I use photography to kind of document that and show that. And then like the impact that it had on the people was just wow. Like one of the photos that I took was a house of a woman named Miss Beverly Bradley, and her house 3 days later got demolished because she was building a new one. But that house that I had photographed had been within her family's like line of like since like the foundation of the community, since like the early 1900s. So for her, like to be now, I sent her that documentation. Like she was like it's like something that becomes a part of her family history as well. Like there's meaning. It's like it's meaningful to them, but it's also like and seeing that it makes me excited. Telling the story of this and being able to share it in like the form of the exhibition that we had last week, and like being like so that really excites me and yeah.
No, I can tell it excites you because like the way you just opened up about it and you just kind of just went on about it. There's just something about it that yeah, I can just tell it excites you. How did it make you feel like being there and like being able, especially taking that photo for the woman? Because when you said that, I felt like you were like some type of anchor in her life. Like you got to save that memory of hers. Like how did that make you feel?
I think it was meaningful to me, but at the same time, not it wasn't like, oh my God, like, because I think there's a story behind it as well. Like for her, she's a very hopeful person.
Okay.
In the sense that she's tearing down her house because she's rebuilding it to leave something better for her family and for her grandchildren. The other belief within the community was like, oh, Talabast won't be here for long. So I guess for her, it's like, yes, it becomes a memento, but it's also a stepping stone to like something better for her and her family.
Got it.
So like, yeah, like I think it's like I'm glad to be able to have contributed to that, but I don't think that photo is that huge for them. Like I don't want to also like
No, I know.
play up my impact on them, but like yeah, I think it's definitely like for anybody, like it would be nice to have a memento like that of your house. Like, so I'm just glad that I had. I think it was maybe a small impact because it is a photo at the end of the day, but I think it was a meaningful impact.
Meaningful impact. Do you think you're gonna do more of those, like where you travel? What is it called? Evangel? Oh, it's not evangel.
Oh, bro, just dropped the
no.
religion.
No. Do you think you're gonna do
Evangelics,
more?
bro. Nah, social documentary.
Yeah. Do you think you're gonna do a lot more of that?
I am, yeah. I actually have a project lined up this summer where I'll be a month in South Dakota and then a month in Portland, doing kind of similar things.
Does the school pay for this or no?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does?
So I got a fellowship for this,
Okay.
and yeah, so I have funding. And I just got to figure out like where I'm gonna stay and stuff like that. But yeah, like more projects of stuff like this coming this summer.
That's dope. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but like one more thing. What if you could tell your younger self one thing that's maybe changed your life or whatever it is? What would you tell your younger self?
Mm, I guess it's hard to answer, but one thing that's recently been on my mind that I've really appreciated, a lesson that I've kind of learned. My boy Sebastian said this to me. He said, "How do you eat an elephant?" How do you eat an elephant?
You little by little.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a representation of like we have problems that feel so big to us.
I feel
Huge. Like I be stressed sometimes. I got so much shit to do, but it's like, what can I do? It's like one bite at a time. And I think that's the lesson that I would give myself. Like really just focusing on what the next thing that I can control and do is. Sometimes like a lot of the stress like is beyond our control, but allowing it to stress us out gives it more control than it needs.
Got it.
So yeah.
Hey man, you inspiring me from the talk. You actually helping me like discover more about myself that I'm gonna take after this talk, especially the identity piece, and then the little by little, because I've been stressing a lot recently. But
yeah, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Beneyam, pleasure, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh,
good ass
oh,
one.
no,
Oh shit. Oh, that's a good one.
For real.